Okay, so this video is going to be talking about the best parts of Elden Ring on why I love this game so much. And if you guys missed it, I did a video on the worst parts about Elden Ring, which I had to dig through my brain to find out what I don't like and what I could change. If you guys missed that, there should be a little card popping up right now, and you can watch that after this video if you'd like. But let's get into it, and I'm sure this video will be longer than the worst parts about Elden Ring, but I have a lot to talk about because I love this game so much. First thing that I absolutely love about this game is honestly just how gorgeous it is. If I'm being completely honest, I think this is one of the best looking games we have gotten in I don't know how long. My first playthrough of this game, I just remember stopping and just staring at just like, wow, holy hell, this game looks gorgeous. I mean, even now, just look at how like foggy it looks, and just look at how it just looks so good. And they did such a great job on just making the game look great in general. I mean, even just looking behind me and just seeing the burning Erd tree, at the Elden throne, another great area that just always just, especially whenever you start a new game, you just have to stand there and admire it, is this. It's literally the grace called the first step. You walk out and you just see all of this. Just look. It's gorgeous. Now, of course, the Erd tree is not on fire, but just you see the minor Erd trees in the distance. You see, for me, it's nighttime. You can see the moon. You can see the glows of gold. You can see the Erd tree. You can see the divine tower of Limgrave. You can see Stormveil Castle over there. There is just so much beauty in this game, and I think that really adds to it, and that is the first thing on what I think is the best parts of this game. Second best thing for me of this game are the legacy dungeons. Now, the legacy dungeons are areas in Soulsborne games that, you go to and you explore, and at the end of it, there is a boss. Now, all the other Soulsborne games are just like consistent, legacy dungeons that you go to and you explore through to find a boss. But this one is an open world, so that's not all it is. But once you get to the legacy dungeons, man, that's of course another part that it shines. Now, the first big one that you're going to come across is the one that I'm at right now, but that is Stormveil Castle. Now, Stormveil Castle is an amazing legacy dungeon. There is so much to explore. It has the big old bridge that leads to the Divine Tower of Limgrave to restore Godric's Great Rune. Which, of course, on top of that, not only is Stormveil Castle gorgeous, you fight two really fun bosses here. Now, before you enter Stormveil Castle, the one boss you're going to fight is going to be Margit the Fell Omen. Now, he is the first obstacle of anyone's playthrough because he is a super difficult boss, and I think the hardest main tutorial boss that you have to beat to even progress the game throughout just any of the Soulsborne games. He is just absolutely nuts and will kick your ass. I remember he kicked my ass the first time I played through this game, and once again, this was my first Soulsborne game, so he was quite the obstacle that I had to get through. But then not only do you have to fight him, once you get through it, you have this beautiful area to explore, and then you get to Godric the Grafted, which Godric the Grafted is a fantastic boss, which his second phase goes hard, and he just has a cool moveset, a fun moveset, and his lines that he drops on you are just, also really, really cool. And it's just two fun bosses in a great area. But this isn't the only legacy dungeon that really shines. Volcano Manor is another one. Volcano Manor is absolutely gorgeous, and it leads to Rykard, the Lord of Blasphemy. Another one, the Halligate Tree. This area leads to Melania. Melania is a super difficult boss, but it is a cool area, especially with the lore behind it. Also, Farum Azula. Farum Azula has probably the two best bosses in the entire game, and that is Malekith and Placidusax. Placidusax being completely optional, but Malekith is a must, and he is an S tier boss. But this area's lore is cool. It has two of the best bosses in the game, and it is fun to run through, and it is one of the final areas that you have to get through. And it is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. Of course, we have to talk about Langdale. Langdale is another, just the best legacy dungeon in the game. I unfortunately can't show off its beauty because it's the capital of Ash for me, but it is another gorgeous, gorgeous area. I mean, even now, it still looks really cool because you see Grandsax, you see the Erd Tree. The first time you come through it, you fight Goldfree, which is the illusion of Godfrey, and then you fight Morgott, which is another, obstacle, and then you come back and you have to fight Godfrey, and Godfrey is a fantastic boss, and then it leads to the end of the game. It is just a beautiful area. The legacy dungeons in this game are gorgeous, and I could go on and on and on, but I do want to talk about more. All right, the third best thing about this game is the open world aspect. Now, most open world games, as much as I love them, and they're just open world games are always my favorite, most open world games are barren and empty. There isn't a lot to do. It's just like, you kind of run from this area and, there's a couple things to do here and there, but it's not a lot. And that's what this game does so well, is even though it's an open world game, there is so much to do. There are 100 of hours worth of content in this game. For example, this is a completed playthrough. Look at how many graces there are. Look at how many caves. Look at how many little ruins there are. How many areas there are to visit. How big the map is. As you can see, it is short. It's just very short of being an empty game. It is not empty at all. It is so far from being empty. There is so much to do, and that's also what I don't get, the whole argument of, there's no replayability. It's like, you just must not explore it all, because look at how much there is to do. There is all of these caves hidden. The amount of times I play through this game and I'm like, whoa, I've never seen this cave before. Like, let me go explore that. There is just so much to do, and that's what adds to the game and just makes it absolutely just gorgeous. And that's why I love it so much, is because I always have a new path whenever I play through the game. It's just, there's so much to do, and I absolutely love it. And I don't get that argument of how there's no replayability. Speaking of replayability, the next part for this is the replayability aspect. Now, people say this game is not replayable. It is not, because you do everything your first playthrough, and then there's nothing else to do, which I can assure you, unless you are like searching up a guide to go do everything, then you haven't done everything. There is so much to do. There are quest lines that I haven't done. In fact, on this playthrough, this was the first time that I've ever done Alexander's questline, which Alexander's questline is a fantastic questline, and I've never done it before. I don't know why I've never done it, because I feel like it's a great questline to do. It is a fantastic questline, and it is unfortunately also sad. Another one that's really cool is Ronnie's questline. Ronnie's questline is easily, I think, the best questline in the entire game, and it is long. It has cool bosses, Radon and Astel. It is just so much fun, and it leads to, in my opinion, the best ending. Now, also, there are tons of different builds you can do. Now, the one build I always do is the guts build, because I just no brain, strength build, caveman thoughts. But there's all these different weapons that you can do. There's the katana dex builds for katana. There's arcane builds for bleed. There's faith. There's intelligence. There's strength builds. You can use weapons that proc Scarlet Rot. You can use weapons that proc poison. You can use the Moonlight Greatsword. There is just frost build. Like, there is just so much builds that you can do. So that's why I don't get whenever people say there's not replayability. You just must do the same thing over and over and over and over. Because most of the time, whenever I replay through the game, I'm doing something different. Now, for example, just recently, I got done doing an intelligence build, which is the first time I've ever done something like that. And that was fun because that was something new to do. And I enjoyed it. So that's why I don't get, you guys just must do the same stuff over and over and over again. Because there is so much to do. There's so much replayability. There's hundreds of hours of content into this game. And it just shines. It shines so much. And I don't get that argument. There's so much replayability. Now, I did 5 for the worst things, so I'm gonna limit myself to the 5 best things. And my final thing for the best parts about Elden Ring is the bosses. The bosses in this game are some of the best bosses we've ever seen in any Soulsborne game. There is a huge list of S tiers. I've done Elden Ring tier list, which I've listed all the bosses and what I think. And I can't remember how many I put in S tier. I think it was 10 or 12. But I absolutely love the bosses in this game. For example, we're in what my opinion is the hardest boss in any Soulsborne game, Malenia. She kicks my ass no matter how many times I fight her. And beating her always feels so goddamn rewarding. She is just a fantastic boss. And another one, Malekith the Blackblade. He is a huge, a cool lore-wise boss, cool music, cool area, and is a fun boss to fight. I do wish he had more health because he doesn't have a lot of health. But he is always just so much fun to fight. And he's another boss that honestly kicks my ass because his second phase with the Destined Death is just absolutely nuts. And he is just another great boss. Another one, Dragon Lord Placidusax. It is a completely optional boss. But the optional bosses in this game are where it really shines. Placidusax's lore is super cool. He is in this area beyond time. And it is just so cool to come over here and fight him, and he is one of the best dragon fights we've had in a Soulsborne game. Another one, it's a completely optional fight with Starscourge Radahn. Starscourge Radahn is this cool lore behind him and this cool build-up where you are joining in on this festival to, basically put him out of his misery and give him an honorable death. And you can summon all these warriors to come help you, which adds to it. It is just such a fun fight, and he is super difficult, especially if you fought him before he got nerfed. He was a beast. He was nuts. He is the only boss in Soulsborne history that has been nerfed, I'm pretty sure. They nerfed him because how difficult it was, because people would go fight him because of Ronnie's questline, and they would get stuck on him. He is just absolutely nuts. But another one, which is a later game boss, which in my opinion, I think he should have been the final boss of the game, because the whole point is you are becoming Elden Lord. The whole point of this game is to become Elden Lord. It would make sense to be able to fight the first Elden Lord as the final boss, which that would be Godfrey. Godfrey is just, he respects you. His lore is cool. His music is great. His moveset is so much fun to learn, and especially his second phase, whenever you switch to Hoaraloo, he is super aggressive, and it's hard to get an opening on him. But it's just so many back-to-back-to-back bosses in the later game, especially, where it just kicks ass constantly, and that is just another area that this game absolutely shines in. But anyway, that was all of the best parts for me about Elden Ring. I'm sure I could come up with more, but I gave myself the 5 limit thing because I also only did 5 for the worst parts about Elden Ring. Now, this video is probably going to be longer because I rambled on and on and on about what I love, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys missed the worst parts about Elden Ring, once again, I'll have, the card popped up. You can go back and watch that if you guys would like. Now, leave in the comments if you guys agree with this, what you disagree with, or what you would also add. Just let me know. Feedback is greatly appreciated. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.